Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland.
Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical,
Intellectual stew.
informative and inspirational. How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do.
Intellectual stew.
Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager.
Intellectual stew with James.
All right, what's up? What it do? Hold on, I'll make sure I'm unmuted. What's up? What it do? Time for another episode of the Intellectual Stew with yours truly, James Kirkland, aka the Mind Massager, and we're getting ready to get this conversation started. Welcome to the Intellectual Stew / the Escape Room, and we're inviting certain people into the escape room to have a productive conversation between men and women. And we have unique conversations because with our conversations, typically we don't get into too many arguments. We're able to share our views. And when we share our views, we're able to typically to come away with an understanding, knowing that everybody's not going to think the same, but everybody is also valid in their thoughts. So what's up, Stew Nation? It's another episode of the Intellectual Stew. I'm waiting on all of my guests to get here so we can get this conversation started. I got some women that are going to come in. Hopefully I got my boy that'll come in. If not, I might pull somebody out of the audience tonight, but I'm just excited to have this conversation tonight. So let me go ahead and start bringing people in. Coy, let me get Coy. Are you there, Coy? There you are. Can you hear me? Unmute yourself, please, ma'am. There you go.
Okay.
All right, we got you now. We got Coy in here, and hold on. Let me turn off this music. I had enough music now. I'm getting used to this music thing. I'm not playing my own music. Somebody's texting me right now. Oh, okay. He's Mark is trying to get in, so let me send him the right link. He got the wrong one. Apparently, are we on? We are live apparently because I see people. Hey, y'all in the chat, say hello, say hi, say cat, dog, say boo, say something. Let me know you're there. And also, I'd be nice to let me know where you're listening from. Hey, Coy, I'm sorry. Let's do this again. How you doing, Coy?
Hey.
You good tonight?
Yes, I am.
Look at that smile. I hear you, girl. Let me bring Brittany. Let me bring Brittany in as well. Brittany, you drinking alcohol over there? Hey, Brittany, how you doing?
No, not at all. That's some good old H2O.
So good old H2. I thought I saw you sipping. Hey, we grown
Good
up
old
in here, so
H2O.
we grown, so we can do whatever we need to do. So what's up, Brittany? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Doing great.
Lovely.
Thank you for having me on.
Well, thanks for asking. Because
Hey, Coy, how are you?
Good.
Hey, Brittany.
I put a feeler out a couple of weeks ago, and Brittany came in the inbox and responded, and she said that she had something to say. So I asked her a question, and she gave me like a long paragraph, and it was so articulate the way she put this paragraph together. What's up, Stacy? Telling me about herself and her life and whatnot. And I was like, if you can articulate that word that well through writing, then I'm sure you can articulate also the same through verbally. So tell the people who you are for a minute, and we'll go ahead and get this conversation. I'm waiting on Ashley to come back in, and we'll go ahead and get this conversation started. Go ahead, tell us about you.
Okay, sure. I'm Brittany, as you said, born and raised in the South. I've been loving these past week conversations of just learning on this journey of better health, more knowledge, relationships overall. And so hopefully I can be a small contribution to the conversation this week. Um, Supporting the purpose of like taking the boxing gloves off, men and women, and just having authentic conversation. So yay
Why
for
do you, why
that.
why do you think people? Why do you think men and women have to have the boxing gloves on all the time? I mean, do you think? I mean, yeah. What's your assessment? I'm not even gonna give you any group think on that. What do you think why do you think that is?
I mean, it could be a number of reasons. I think the number one thing that comes into effect is just our personal experiences, right? Like we either, our background, our personal experiences, our hurt, things that we've moved past or that we haven't. I think all that plays a part in approaching the future, especially as it relates to letting somebody in intimately. So there could be a variation of reasons of why those gloves are on.
Absolutely. I'm glad you preface. Oh, let me get in this screen. Okay. I'm glad you preface that by saying that there can be a plethora of reasons as to why, because so
Mm-hmm.
many people operate from the perception or the misperception that there's one reason for everything, and
Mm-hmm.
we're all so individual. I tell people all the time, if we all got different fingerprints, then how in
Absolutely.
the world can we all be put into a single box? Let me bring Mark in. That my partner is. What up, MC Mark Cormier?
Hey, how you doing? I swear I'm a technical guy. I have the worst technical adaptation to this show. It's terrible.
Is it my fault? With the first 2 weeks, man, you were on point. I
I
mean,
know I'm
seriously on
trash
point.
now.
You
I'm
know,
trash
whatever.
now.
You never trash, never trash.
Now is this are you this is my segue in or is she finishing?
No, no, you segue and she's cool right now.
Yeah. To answer the question on that, I know for as me and a lot of men, we're so busy
What question are
trying
you
to.
answering? Because I haven't asked the question yet. What question
Oh,
are
I
you
thought
answering?
you. I thought. Oh, I was going off what she said, but she said we could be a
No, no, no,
plethora of
no.
things.
That
Mm-hmm.
was just a question for her. No, that was just a
Oh,
question for her.
Okay.
No,
oh,
no,
okay.
no. That was just because
See, I
I'm
had
trying to. No, no. You ready yet? We're gonna let the as soon as Ashley gets her stuff worked out. She's having some technical difficulties as well. We get ready to jump
okay.
off into this conversation. But no, Mark. In fact, you can go ahead. Why do you think men and women box so much? Because I've been given credit. But I mean, I don't. Did y'all see? Did you see the post that I had last week where the older gentleman said that he usually don't listen to relationship podcasts?
I think you talking about the one who? I'm not gonna sit there and
Was it a
say I
pastor or
remember.
something?
No, he's not a pastor. He's a deacon at a church. He's a
Okay, well,
deacon.
a deacon. I knew he was in the church.
Yeah, he's definitely in
I
the church.
remember vaguely. I remember the comment vaguely.
It's
Yeah,
It
it
didn't
was a
set in my heart.
screenshot, right? That
yeah,
you posted.
I did
Hmm.
Okay,
the
yeah.
I did the screenshot. But what he did is I'm gonna try. I'm trying to find it right quick because it blessed me because sometimes when you try to do things and you don't necessarily say what it is that you're trying to do, and then somebody recognizes what you did, that's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And so
Hmm.
Mhm.
here it is right here. He said, and this is our conversation, Corey, the one we had last week, Corey Mark.
Mhm.
He said, normally I don't listen to relationship discussions, but this discussion was different. The men loved women,
Oh,
and the men and
beautiful.
the women loved men, and the men loved women. You were doing some serious preaching and pastoring too. He was talking about me. He said, I love it when that strong, independent sister, her name was Corey, said, I need a man. And then the strong brother, that was Mark, said, I don't want to be alone. Somebody said we weren't meant to be alone. The brother emphasized commitment. This was a very thoughtful and caring panel. Get a transcript. He told me to get a transcript, edit it where appropriate, insert some insight. And he said, I already have a book chapter. And for him to say that this guy, although he's in the church, he's also like he used to be the dean of economics at Florida State and at FAMU. You know what I'm saying? So this guy is kind of heavy. So he was really moved by our conversation, and he noticed what you noticed, Brittany, how we don't box. But Mark? Why do you think it? You heard what Brittany said. Why do you think it is that a lot of time, men and women find themselves in these types of conversations, ending up in boxing matches or arguing and things of that nature?
I think like she said, so many different things that go into it, but I think it's a large amount of reinforced pride that we have. Men seeking respect, women want to be respected the same way. The introduction of equality in the relationship, a woman wants to be an equal partner, and a man wants to be the head of household without spiritual direction. Understanding what that looks like, the misconception of that in this day and time with the influx of women making more money being head of household, but in the house still wanting a certain type of respect. Just that imbalance right there. But it breaks down to respect. I know for me, no matter in the situation in my past, I've always wanted to be respected. And
Mm,
for a man, it means so much to have that. And when sometimes you don't know how to incorporate a woman's input and giving her the respect that she deserves, you think it's about dominating so much. So when you don't have that mentorship, the male mentorship and guidance of
that's
what a
good.
household looks like, you're fighting that imbalance of the past and trying to make adjustments on the fly without mentorship. I
Man,
feel
that's
like.
good. That's good. And we're gonna explore that. We're gonna explore that dynamic in the second half of this conversation. In the first half of the conversation, we're gonna look at this video that I posted today. Actually, Coy sent me that video last week, and this week we did a little brainstorming session. We kind of talked, and chatted it up. And we're gonna and I believe if our relationships are going to be fixed, if we're going to get to a place where we're able to communicate effectively, I believe that it's really, I think women are going to have to hold women accountable. And I think men are going to have to hold men accountable. Back in the day, man, you remember, I don't know if y'all grew up in the country like I did. I grew up in the country. So grandmama was big mama to us, right? And so when everybody went to Big Mama's house, all the women went in the room where Big Mama was, right? The men were in somewhere other part of the house. But in that room, it was so much tutelage going on. Grandmama was telling y'all what to do, what not to do, what's appropriate, what's inappropriate, all of these things, how to be a young lady, how to do these types of things, what young girls aren't supposed to do, all of those things. But then somewhere along the way, Mark, I heard some of these young ladies start calling grandmama weak. And they started calling her weak, saying that because of what she endured from granddaddy and all this kind of stuff. But I thought it took a special type of strength to be able to endure what grandmama endured. So last thing I would ever want to do is minimize what grandmama did. What do you think about that, Coy? Do you think why do you think Coy, people started calling grandmama weak and all that kind of stuff? Your mic is muted too.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
Sorry about that. Um, I think people started calling grandmother mother weak because we're modern now.
Okay.
So it's like the women are, like Mark was saying, the women are the breadwinners now in most households.
Hmm.
It's not y'all fault, but that's just the way it happened. And so because we're able to financially take care of ourselves, we're looking at grandma like she couldn't walk away. So she was weak anyways. We're
Hmm.
strong, we're independent, things of that nature. When that's all psychology to begin with, to break the home, you know.
That's good. That's good. What you think, Brittany?
And,
Why?
and, and, and it
Okay.
started with the government assisting it by
There you go.
providing
There
by
you go.
providing housing that we claimed, well, we have our own house, but we really didn't. We didn't own anything. It was the government, you know.
Hmm.
Not
Hmm.
me, but I'm saying women that were coming up in that era.
Oh yeah.
But so that's a big part of it.
Huge part of it. Huge part of it.
Hmm.
And that was the part I was listening for earlier. That I didn't hear. But I want to, Brittany. Why do you think they started calling grandmama weak?
Um, I would say, uh, I guess as it relates to, you think of grandparents, meaning like traditional married, stay together for forever, regardless of what. There's
Yeah.
a certain level of like that level of covenant requires a certain level of endurance, and I just don't think that um, passed down. Maybe it wasn't always truthfully communicated to. Especially with like younger women in my generation, right? Everything on social media looks so perfect. So I think that a bit of the reality may be that we see what it looks like, but we didn't see what went on behind closed doors. So when you say endurance, it's kind of like, well, what does that look like? Or how do you work through something like, those different problems that could come up? So I think present day, it's like, oh, grandma was weak because she didn't leave or whatever. It's like, no, she actually endured because that's the level of covenant, like commitment that was made. Um, so that's kind of my take on that.
That's a good take. That's actually a really good take. That's a good take. That's a good take. But listen, I want to.
But yeah, did somebody make that comment about grandmothers being weak or they were weak because they didn't? Did you read that somewhere?
I heard it on another podcast. Yeah,
I've heard
yeah.
that before also, but
Hmm.
for me, grandmothers were always black grandmothers were always the backbone to the
Quantify that
family.
now. Make
You
sure you
know, you
quantify it.
know
Make sure you
that.
quantify that. No,
That's
I know
from
what you're
my
laughing
perspective.
at.
I've never looked at my grandmother as weak or my great grandmother as weak or anything, just because my great grandmother stayed with my grandfather. And how things
Yeah.
were. I think that people really took it serious. Their covenant, their marriage. They really, through thick and thin, through sickness and health, through everything. Some of the grandfathers brought their women home, from my understanding, but it
Yeah.
didn't make her weak. She signed it. She signed something and she stuck to
Right.
it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what. And our buddy is here, Mark, and your buddy, Corey Lazarick is here. Mr. Adams, that's my friend. We friends now. We're good. He said grandmothers have always been the backbone in the homes, and that is the truth, and that's the truth. And so here we are. I got Ashley now, so that's why Ashley was working through her text. Let's make sure she's good. You there, Ashley?
Yeah.
I'm here.
All right, good. Ashley working through
I
her
think I'm
technical difference.
dragging y'all.
I
Come
was
on.
on that first, and like
I-
soon as the show started, like my stuff blacked out.
Yeah, I saw you on there first. I said, why she leave me like this? And knowing that we got to get started on this
Oh,
segment because we got to get this thing going. All right, so listen, Ashley, I said a minute ago, and Coy and Brittany, I believe for us to start fixing, yeah, and everybody's in the chat right now. Do me a favor, let's go ahead and share this. If you haven't shared this yet, go ahead and share this thread. And let's go ahead and get this conversation started. Let's go ahead and tag 4 or 5 people. If you know that, tag 4 or 5 people. Let them know that we're on, and we're gonna be on for about another hour or so, hour and 15 minutes or so, and then we'll get a little deeper in this. First half of this conversation, we're gonna let the women kind of deal with something, and then the second half, Mark, myself, Lazarick, Corey, Stacy, Rich. What is this? It's more men. Look at that, Ashley. It's more men commenting in the
I love
chat
it.
right now than it is women. I
I
love it,
love,
man. And
I love
Coy,
it.
that was special today in the group. Did you see that? I asked
Yes.
y'all check this out, Mark. Check this out, Ashley. Check this out, Brittany. Coy has a group called Be Real, the group, and it probably has almost 4,000 people in the group. Okay. And so it is a lot of women, a lot of men. People put their opinions out there, and she wants you to put your opinions out. She thinks that everybody should be able to say whatever they want to say. She does. Some
Mhm.
people say some things that are really offensive. She like, I don't care. As long, he's grown. He can say what he wants to say. And I really respect that about Coy. But anyway, today I put this post in the group, and I
Mm-hmm.
directed it to men. Ashley, guess what? Not one woman answered.
Court, I need to get over there to your group. Because these women
Listen,
out here, baby, do not know how to
listen,
hold a mirror.
listen, Mark. I'm
Is
gonna
it
be.
a
I'm gonna
Facebook
be real.
group?
I'm gonna be real country right now. Not now
Not now.
woman. Not now woman answered that question, and the brothers answered it, didn't they, Coy?
Yeah, they
I'm talking
did.
about
They chimed in.
with paragraphs. I mean, and they were
I
like, man,
love
this is
it.
true. They like, this is
That
true,
sound
and
like
this
some
is
grown
why.
women and men over there.
Well, like I said, I was nervous because I've seen some stuff in there before, but that was Lazarick. What you say,
When it comes
Lazarick?
time to get serious, they get serious.
I'm learning because
We
I'm
can
trying to be
play and
more.
everything.
Lift your hands and say amen.
I just spoke in an unknown tongue. I don't know which one it was,
They
but
didn't
I
want
did
that
it.
smoke today.
Shut. Lazarick said they didn't want that smoke today. I feel you. But you know
They
what?
did.
Well, the question was to the men, in all fairness. It was to the men, and women kept quiet. So I guess some of them were really listening, per se, reading
Court.
and absorbing, because it was
That was special.
detailed. Their
That was
responses were detailed.
man. That was
Court,
special,
you've
bro.
been in plenty of groups where it specifically say, and I've done this because I've been admins to groups. It say fellas, colon, and we answer the question. I ask the question.
What you say, Mark, without
And,
saying nothing?
and I mean, before the men can even get on to say a thing, the women have
Yeah,
already,
yeah,
if they don't answer in
taking over it.
2.5 seconds, here come the women saying, see, This
Yeah.
why we don't ask questions right here because they never can. The man get his thoughts together. My God,
Man.
you know he might want to make sure that because you know we gonna come for him if the grammar is not correct. He want to get everything together,
No,
proofread it, have
but they
discussion,
had
reading all of that, and come back and post
but
it.
they had grammar and everything in this one. They had
But I'm
grammar.
saying these women they don't give them chance. So I love it. I need to get over there.
And one person had said something that was kind of confusing, and Lazarick hit him right quick. Lazarick said, "What you mean?" And when the brother explained it, Lazarick said, "Okay, bro, I can see that." And that was a good conversation. I was in shock, man. I'm sitting there going down the comments like, okay, a woman's about to comment. Okay, a woman's about to comment. The woman never commented. Then I went in Corey's inbox. I'm like, can you believe no woman is commenting right now? I'm in shock. I'm in straight shock. So come here, Ashley, because Ashley's having technical difficulties tonight. We're about to play this video, and we're gonna get started on this. Like I said, all right. So here we go. Let's get started. I like these little conversations though. But here it is. I believe that in order for us to start to change, women are going to have to hold women accountable. Men are going to have to hold men accountable. I said that already. I've said that already. So here this thing is, Ashley, I hope you get this worked out. But here this is right here. Are you there, Ashley?
I'm
Are
here.
you froze?
I'm trying to adjust my mic because I can't.
Your mouth looked real froze. I was like, hold on. But all right, so I'm about to play this video, Ashley.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so
Okay.
go to Chrome tabs. Let's go to this page book. I'm gonna hit share, and then boom. Y'all tell me if y'all see it.
We do.
All right, here it is. I think I got it right. Oh, no sound. Here we go. Uh-oh, did I mess up? I hit the wrong button. Hold on, y'all. I'm tripping tonight, Ashley.
You got it.
What is going on?
Now I don't know who this girl is. Well, while James is trying to get those technical difficulties going on, the whole panel has gone through. Say it again.
Are you not hearing this? I was playing it. I thought
No,
you heard
you're playing it?
Yeah, I was. But hold on, let me try again. I'm sorry, my bad. Let me do this again. If I can't play it, well, hold on. Maybe it's playing outside of the video. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. Let's do it. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. These are technical difficulties. I mess up every night. Hold on.
Hold on, just a little while.
I know what to do. I know what to do. All right. I think I got it now, y'all. I messed up, but I think I got it now. Here we go.
Her dating academy. I don't know what rock I've been under, but I thought she just opened it.
Y'all can hear it now, right?
Why is
Yeah.
Can you start it over?
Majority that come to me have unrealistic expectations, the selfishness.
I don't know if I can. I can't start over. You shouldn't have.
The black
Here it is.
female collective delusion is running rapid. And I got my confirmation yesterday when I saw that femininity coaching April Mason matchmaking self closed her dating academy. I don't know what rock I've been under, but I thought she just opened it. And her reason why is understandable.
She said, the majority that come to me have unrealistic expectations, the selfishness, fake everything, think they should be chosen because they have a vagina and good looks, the entitlement, just mean, not knowing the difference between being a woman and a wise woman, and will fight you to be strong, not knowing how to be versus do, thinking being a feminine woman is weak or pick me, whatever it is, placing the blame and not taking responsibility or accountability for the choices they made in men, being disagreeable, defensive, argumentative about everything, always finding something to nitpick about, looking for perfection. If you mention anything about doing something kind for the man they choose, is what he's going to do for me, and the list goes on.
I'm sorry, but I agree. I mean, women are out here, y'all tripping. Y'all are real selfish. Y'all are out here just not even caring about what men want. And I understand that men treated us that way for a long time.
This is for the men who somehow think that they're the prize. Darling,
I don't want to hear her. I don't want to hear
Me
her.
neither.
The part I
I'm
wanted,
with you.
the part I wanted y'all to hear was that first part. Did everybody get it? Do I need? I'm probably gonna play it again, probably in the next 10 minutes or so, when some more people come in. But Ashley, you got your hand raised, Mark?
Yeah, I wanted to point something out real quick. Earlier, it was said that black women make more than black men, when actually, just to get this thing started right, perspective is one of the most important things that we're missing. As of 2021, black men still made more money. Black women were most educated, but black men
Mhm.
still made more money
Mhm.
than black women collectively. But the perception, this is just fact checking, but the perception is black women make more than men, and you got to study the numbers, and that's not the case. But black women are the most educated person in the U.S. right now. Just want to clear it up, and I'm gonna come back to that as we go on.
Gotcha. All right, go ahead, Ashley.
So before we get started in this thing, I did want to say, a lot of times, when we've heard different people complaining about women and their thought process, it's been men that have complained about these things. And so now here we're in this video, we do have a woman that is more so saying the same exact things that men have been saying. And that, with her saying these things, with a woman telling and saying these things, are we more apt to listening to a woman and changing it versus a man? Because do we feel like a man can't tell us how to be a woman? That's one of the first questions that I want to ask. Do we feel like
Yeah.
we have a difficult time changing, and I'm not going to say adjusting for someone else, but adjusting to make ourselves better? Do we think that we have a hard time doing that when a man brings things to us versus a woman?
I think so.
Mhm.
I think so. I think there's more pushback when a man try to tell the collective what to do, or how we're supposed to respond and how we're supposed to be and what we're not supposed to behave like. And it may make sense. It could make sense to us, but we're still going to rebel against it because it's coming from a man.
Brittany?
Yeah, I would agree on a couple of different things. I feel like I've personally have had discussions with friends, and I've actually lost friendships when we give an opinion on their relationship or certain treatments that we've noticed. And sometimes it's clear to a person that you're close to outside looking in. But I don't think, to answer the question specifically, I don't think that in my experience, when woman or women on women giving advice is well received either. So, considering that, I
Mhm.
think it comes down to the individual. If you got a individual that is healed or on a healing journey, or that have faced themselves in the mirror and can kind of say, yeah, that was a messed up situation, or recognize their own faults, like until a person has looked in the mirror, I feel like they're not going to be receptive to any to a conversation on being better at anything. So I think it kind of breaks down to individually as well. On the man part, though, I will say, um, for me personally, I will listen to a man give their opinion on things that will kind of play on both parts. But as far as a man telling me how to be a woman, probably not going to be receptive to that. And vice versa. I don't think it's my place to tell a man how to be a man in that regard. Because I just don't think I can. I've never been a man, so I can't tell you how to be a man.
I'm gonna ask this question for us to go back to it, but I do want to maybe ask the men if they have anything to elaborate. Let me go ahead and tell y'all. James told me that I had to do this so y'all wouldn't feel like they were attacking the men. This job of carrying the show is not. I can talk all day, but trying to carry the show like James, he is the man with this. Okay, so let me put that out there for the people. Brittany, you made a statement, and I see that Miss Ward has also made this statement that a man can't tell me how to be a woman. He can share what he likes in a woman.
Mm.
But how is it that we get so defensive or offensive and defensive about a man trying to tell us some things about us when we've been telling men, and I say we because I'm a woman, we've been telling men what they should do and how they should do things as a man since the beginning of time. Now if we're gonna do this thing, we gotta do this thing right.
That's right, Amber.
It can't be good for the goose, but not good for the gander. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to read
The
what
last
was
part of your
saying.
sound went out on that. You said actually you said what's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's
It
what you
got to
said.
be
Can't
good
be.
for the gander. I mean,
Yeah.
it can't be one sided. But I did
Yeah,
want
we
to
have
ask
to.
after. Go ahead.
I feel like we have to learn how to relax. Everybody just have to learn how to relax. That's peaceful. And I think when people have an opinion on how you're behaving, we shouldn't take offense to it. I don't, but I have a peaceful space. You know, if people take that part and just listen, because there's a difference in listening and hearing. You know, we can hear because we have ears and eardrums, but listening, if you just sit back and listen, then you will probably become a better human, not just a better woman for somebody, a better man for somebody. But I don't take offense to how people see me or their opinion about me. I listen, and some of the things I may need to change that I can't see until someone tells me about myself,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
whether it's coming from a male or a female. It doesn't bother me at all. I think we have to learn how to relax, just relax and listen.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
I agree with that. Yes, Mark, go ahead.
I, the biggest misconception when we talk is when men are telling, I think men, we can speak to what we want our woman to be ladylike, not a woman, but to be ladylike. And a woman can speak to a man how to be a gentleman, right? I can't tell you how to do and feel and function as a woman, but
Right.
in the respect aspect, as we treat one another, we
Mm-hmm.
can speak about what's ladylike and what's gentlemanlike, which we had gotten away from. So I feel like if we understand what the narrative is and focus on the narrative, and we all are, a lot of us are all focused on the narrative, and we are not receptive when it comes to that because it's not about a man telling you about how to be a woman, but he could tell you how to be a lady, and vice versa. So I think
Mhm.
it's the narrative we got to control and focus on.
Yeah, and I also think people don't know how to have a conversation. So people feel
Absolutely.
attacked
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, you know.
Uh-huh.
So for me, instead of telling the person about themselves, I like to ask questions. And then I'm able to take the conversation to where I need to take it to for them to see themselves as well. And a lot of people that I speak with, they don't become offended.
Mhm.
And they listen.
Yeah. I think there's a negative connotation with the word telling somebody what to do. So when you
Hmm.
initially ask, actually like you telling a man, like a man telling a woman what to do, I think that that is like subconsciously like a negative connotation. So yeah, um, I think with that preconceived notion, then follows that is just hostility. It, like you said, they could tell you something that a woman could tell you the same thing, but because of that preconceived notion and the negative connotation associated with, oh, let me tell you about yourself, the person's
Hmm.
already on guard, defensive, and so they're probably just going to see anything after that as a personal attack or what have you. So,
Can I say something, Ashley?
Absolutely. I was coming to you next.
All right, cool. Because I mean, and one thing about me, Mark, I know you know this is where the test of true power is when you're willing to give it away, and I'm not really concerned about. I know how to handle my show, so I can. And Ashley's been faithful to me. When I say faithful, Ashley has been faithful to me. I mean, we have knockdown dragouts on the show. We had down dragouts behind the scenes. And I don't think we've ever got mad at each other yet, but we'll laugh and we'll joke and all that stuff. And Ashley will be doing shows by herself soon at 9 o'clock at the same time. I might be gone, but the show must go on. So, because like I said, I'm trying to speak to everybody. I'm trying to speak. And so tonight, we purposely, Coy and I, when we were talking to Ashley, we came up with this thing about handling hard truths, right? Because even with hard truths, the thing is to make those truths palatable so that they become productive, right? Nobody really likes taking medicine. Nobody. You remember when you were young and you would have to take that Robitussin? Robitussin was what's some real nasty medicine going up? Y'all remember Father John's?
Father
Father
John.
John.
Oh my God, that stuff tastes like death.
I never heard of that.
You ain't never heard of Father John?
You didn't miss anything, Coy. You missed nothing.
Hey,
there.
Father
Coy,
John's
I'm
was
gonna get you calm down now, honey.
Yeah, we need to get us something. But Father John's was like the nastiest cough syrup, but it did the job, right?
It got it
But it's
done.
the
And
best.
so some of these hard truths that we want to share, like that sister sharing that stuff she just shared a minute ago. Marlon, I see your question. Ladies, if y'all want to answer Marlon in the comments, he said he wants to know if showing too much cleavage is ladylike. I don't want to take the conversation off of what we're talking about, Marlon.
That's a personal
It
preference.
depends on what her
that's
man
a,
like.
Yes, I
Personal
think
preference.
that's a personal. Yeah,
That's a
That is.
personal
That's my
thing.
hey, that's my
people need
cousin.
to
That's my
relax.
boy.
Allow people to be who they are. Relax.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Exactly.
That's my boy and everything. But I'm not gonna go that route on you, Mark. I'm gonna let you have. I mean, Mark, I'm gonna let you have that one. Ashley, take it back. Go ahead. And if you want me to, if you need me to play the video again, let me know. I'll cue it up again. If you need me to play it again.
I want to key in on Katrina's statement. Mark, did you have anything else? I don't know if I saw your hand. I'm sorry. Okay. People are so sensitive these days. You can never receive something from someone if you always feel attacked. Instead of questioning yourself and saying, I know this person cares for me, so their motives are genuine. Katrina, I definitely agree with that. And that was something that I was going to speak or ask a question about. Do we think that the people that are going to come to us, let's speak from your mate or a potential mate coming to you and saying, hey, I'm really digging you in this aspect, but I can't get past, or I would like for you to work, or can you work on, however it needs to be said, because I feel like if a man comes to you, and I'm speaking from the man perspective because we seem to get, I'm not a man, but we seem to get so offended when the male tells us something about ourselves. So if they come into you and they're, interested in you, and this is the only thing that's keeping them from going to the next state, why is it so hard for us to just kind of listen to what it is that they're saying? And then even when females telling us we hate, they feel like they're hating. The women, do y'all, Coy and Brittany, have y'all experienced someone coming to you saying that, well, they're just hating on me? It's not,
Yeah, they play
yes.
hey,
And it's
no.
so unfortunate. So unfortunate.
For me,
remember-
everything. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't remember what interview I listened to. This has been many years ago, but they were basically talking about in a, like a man and woman dating or in a relationship and having them around your family. And then you're like having them around basically the people that love and care about you the most, because they're the ones that kind of know you the most and can see things that you don't see or kind of give you specific insight. So it's intentional for me to at some point bring you around my circle because I want that information. I'm open to hear, love do have blinders sometimes. First relationships do put on blinders initially. So, like I said earlier, I've actually lost a friendship that was really near and dear to me because we were having an open conversation about it. And for some reason, it just wasn't received well and it ended. But it's at the end of the day, like, I love and care about you. You can absolutely know that it's not coming from a evil place or, it's coming from a place of caring. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that we had that level of trust that we could be honest and share certain information, but it did not work out for me in that situation.
There was a comment that was up there that I think it was from Reggie. And before I read that comment, I want to ask the ladies, if we have any ladies in the chat, seem like y'all ladies, and I'm saying this for the replay. It seem like the ladies ran from this tonight. We got these fellas on here. They ready. They got locked and loaded. But women, are we delusional? The lady started the video off by saying this delusional narrative that we have. Are we delusional? Are our expectations unrealistic? But James, will you put Reggie?
I think. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I was gonna. I wanted to. If we have some ladies in the chat, to kind of let them mull over that while I read this comment,
Hey,
and then ladies
Erica.
on the panel, we can elaborate on that a little more. Reggie says we all have to be able to take constructive criticism in a relationship, meaning listening to what is being said about you and take a realistic look and see if any truth is in what's being said and how you can work to improve that aspect. I totally agree on Reggie. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. So ladies, are we delusional?
Well, I don't
Go
know
ahead,
if I
Coy.
would
Go
call
ahead, Coy.
it being delusional. You know, some women have limited exposure, so they only know what they have been taught.
Very, very good
You know,
point.
years ago, it used to be, yeah, the man has to bring the entire table. Okay, we all have the same, what am I looking for, y'all? We opportunity. We all have the same opportunity now. So the man shouldn't have to continue to bring the table by himself. We should be working together. Delusional is a little far. I think she's a little hard on some women, but I do think that some of our expectations exceeds our table size. So if you're expecting him to bring
Hold
an
on.
entire table,
Hold on.
you should have an entire table to bring as
Hold
well.
on. I need a hoop right there. Hold on. Oh Lord. I need to do that. Rewind. Let me hoop one more time. Oh Lord. You said sometimes they want you
Wow.
to bring the
Our
entire table. What now?
Yeah, our
And then
expectations,
our
some of
table is
our
small.
expectations exceeds our
I,
table size,
some
you
people don't even
know?
know what a dinner
So
fork, the difference between a dinner fork and a salad fork. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm supposed to be quiet. I'm
What
supposed to be
she's
quiet.
saying is some
yeah,
people got a card table, but they want somebody to bring an 8-seater dinner table, dining
that's
room.
unfair. That's so unfair. And some people don't realize that. But again, most of those people exposure is limited. So we can't bring fault. We can try to see how we can fix it and help them see what we have learned over time and how we've changed our thinking from the thinking before us. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because I grew up in a home, my mom, my dad, my mom stayed at home. So I'm looking at it like, hey, this is the way to go. No, not if you want something. I'm not saying they didn't have anything, but if you want more, you got to get in there and roll your sleeves up also. You have
That
to, or it's
expectation
not
is
going to
definitely
happen.
one-sided. That
Yes, because it's
expectation,
called inflation. So
yeah.
everything continues to rise. You better get in there and roll your sleeves up unless you want to be, I don't know. Yeah, some of those expectations, I don't know if it's delusion. I don't know if it's delusion, y'all. I just think it's exposure.
But
Some women haven't been exposed to different things.
can I ask you a question, Coy?
Yeah,
If you put lipstick on a pig, is it still a pig?
Pig.
it's
Oink,
still a
oink.
pig.
So if you call
It's still a
delusion,
pig.
if you give a synonym of delusion, is it still delusion? I'm done. Don't answer that question. That was rhetorical. Go ahead, y'all. I'm supposed to be quiet. Go ahead.
Listen,
Brittany,
I don't
before
think
you
Can
so.
go,
We
y'all
have to give them the
can y'all
benefit. We have to give them the benefit. Like my dad said, this was some years ago though. He said some of these women are out of their mind, expecting so much from a man. Because honestly, nowadays, if you meet a woman, they already have kids or a kid, at least one kid, right? So most women have instant families when they meet a man. All you got to do is add water. So why are
and
you
you know
why do you have so many demands?
it.
Crickets.
But Hey, we don't got nothing to say.
Look,
Brittany, before you give your rebuttal on the question that I asked, I think Mark so graciously raised his hand to be able to
sure.
speak to us. Go ahead, Mark.
I just want y'all to look at what's her name?
Mark, can you speak up just a
Amber.
little bit? You got us on a quiet
Can y'all hear
storm.
me? Can you hear
Okay,
me?
I got you.
There you go. I want y'all to look at Amber Springer Lamb's comment.
Amber
Okay.
This is. I want y'all to read it. I'm gonna be quiet on this one.
Let me see what she says. Put it up
Are
there.
you able to put it up or?
Okay. Okay.
Amber Lamb. Oh.
Yeah, it says, no, we aren't. I think our expectations are valid. But in this day and time, I believe that because there are so many women putting up with so much, it makes us who have standards or expectations say, oh, extra delusional. I bring the tablecloth plates, chargers, and napkins. So come correct this way. I know that's right, girl.
Exactly.
That's a lot of
Truth.
truth in that, you know.
It's
But
truth.
I'm a numbers person also. You got to look at the numbers and see what you're working with as well. You know, it's more of us and less of them. So we got to compromise somewhere.
That's
I'm
true.
trying to
We
think
got to
because
become a little bit more
you
flexible.
get to choose where your compromise is.
Yeah, we got to
To
become a
answer
little
that
bit more
why are
question,
flexible.
you shaking your head? I'm trying to see if
Yeah,
if I
this is the issue.
Y'all about to
This
make
is
me
my
have chest pains over here. I'm
this is
laughing
my
so hard.
biggest issue. Y'all, I know that's right, girl. Man, that ain't the right. That's not even the right
wait,
approach.
Mark,
Oh, I got a hoop again.
before you
Oh
start,
Lord.
because that was gonna be my question. Like, I don't know if I completely agree with that.
But this is no, y'all. I'm just saying, y'all get y'all.
That was a
Y'all,
good comment though.
It
You
it's
know,
a
that
was.
good
was a good
comment.
comment.
It's a
I
good.
understand where she's coming from.
exactly.
But
I understand
again,
where she's coming from.
Okay,
they
Dick
have
and
more
Mark.
options than
Dick and
us.
Mark. Dick and
Finish your
Mark.
finish your point, Mark. Finish your point though. Go ahead, because
What
you
what
signed
what
hard.
what disappoints me from the female platform? What y'all say y'all put up with is y'all get what y'all ask for. When I mean that, what y'all put in public forums and social media, you regurgitate over time. Y'all not asking for men. Y'all not asking for morals. You're not asking for goals and expectations. Men who have direction. Y'all, not all of y'all, but in these public forums with people who have limited understanding, y'all ask men to be thugs. Y'all ask men to have a little edge to them. Y'all want a real N word, and those don't equate to a man. And then y'all say this so long, you got all these men acting disproportional when it comes to their masculinity. And then when they grow up and when they reach a mature stage, they don't know how to give you what you asked for, because what you asked for, that seed you sowed doesn't create a rose, it creates thorns. It creates pain for you. And so a lot of women, what y'all ask for, is the standards are very low. And it disappoints me when y'all act like y'all put up with stuff. Y'all put up with stuff that you asked for. And it disappoints me that y'all can't sit here and take that ownership in that. And then the thing is, a lot of ladies don't know how to handle success. If I make 200,000, I can go and date whoever I want to date. Y'all have worked so hard to be independent and equality, women in the forefront. But when y'all make 200, you still looking for a man to take care of you. You still looking for a man to
Yeah,
bring
that's
stuff to the
weird.
table, right?
That's weird.
That's what people are doing though. Well, he need to bring
Yeah.
no act like a boss. Act like you
Right.
make money. Stop acting broke. Because I'm telling you, like my
Yeah.
dating, and most men who are financially stable, it don't make a difference. We date a girl working Popeyes or she a lawyer. Because a woman deems you financially stable, when you go on a date with her, it's the same experience. You pulling your card out each and every time. So I hear it, but this valid and emotions, this is where it's come from. I mean, not even me as a man. Well, if I on the vice versa on the side of men, what we deal with women, I can't agree. A lot of it's our responsibility because we're not asking women to be ladies. We're asking them how to twerk and to do other things that are not ladylike. So what we're
I
dealing with
don't
is
think
what
y'all
we
asking
entertain.
women to twerk now. I think y'all
It's what we
Yeah, I
entertaining it.
think there
entertain.
are
It's what we
certain
I
ones.
think y'all are
it's,
entertaining it. Just because a woman posts a twerking video doesn't mean y'all asking for it. If y'all
well,
entertain it and like it in the comment, that's different.
well, you say that
There,
you can't pick and choose because then when we like big booties, y'all going to get plastic surgery. Y'all say that's what y'all like. Yeah, y'all doing things according to what we like, right?
Don't lump us all, please.
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying when that happens, the go to is well, that's what y'all like. That's what y'all going for.
Right, right.
Yeah,
So
that's what
that's the
they say.
excuse. That's the cop out. So I'm just saying, make it applicable. You can't just pick and choose when to use it. Like that's what you're saying. I'm going by what women say.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
as
because what Amber said
yeah.
was that, she's decent. So,
Man,
she
that's
know what she want
subjective.
and what her standards are. But why
But
you need all that if you're decent? I mean,
And
I'm not trying to
Well,
attack you, Amber. I'm just saying,
but
but
my thing with that is, and Mark, I feel you.
relax.
I feel you. I feel you 100%, Mark. My thing with that is, I put. I don't know if you saw this the other day, but somebody put one of those type of posts out of what they gonna stand for, what they ain't gonna stand for, and all this kind of stuff. And I asked her, I said, "Is that a disclaimer or a rallying cry?" Because see, sometimes it's more of a rallying cry than a disclaimer. And y'all proved it because as soon as Amber said what she said, and I read the comment, that everybody started giving her high fives in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? And started clapping and all that kind of stuff. And immediately Mark and I started shaking our head like, like here we go
trash,
again with this whole little stuff again.
trash.
Because those are the things that keep us
but
divided.
that's interesting because I guess we on perception we kind of took it differently. All I did was just say that she has some sort of decency or respect about herself, and she would like that from the male
She doesn't want to
counterpart.
bomb. That's
So
what she's saying.
that's what I heard. But so that was interesting because that's what I was high fiving. Like, okay, if you put work into yourself, if you carry yourself a certain type of way, if you know what it is of who you are and what you're looking for, then yes, sis, don't logically go for somebody that you would deem less than that or they're showing you that they're less than that. So that's what I took from that, and that's what I was high fiving her about. But as
I
far
got you.
as the delusional question, I feel like that is so two things. Do I feel like women are delusional? It's on a spectrum in the sense that you have people who, and I'm just throwing this out there, tell me if it makes sense or not. You have people who are ones who want a number 20, and then you have people who are a number 20 that's settling for number 0. So it's all in what you want. Because if you find somebody that, if you're clear on what you want and you find somebody that wants the same things as you, then it's not delusional. But say if I go take my same expectations, wants, and needs to somebody else, he may have not risen to, or it could be vice versa. I'm not saying women are up and men down here, but what I'm saying is he can't meet that expectation or she can't meet that expectation. So in their eyes, it is delusional. No, it's not delusional. Is that I'm not for you or you may not be for me. So, let's just either have a conversation about it or move on to the next thing. Because I think as adults, we're all responsible for making our individualized adult and grown up decisions. Like if somebody presents a situation to me and I feel like it's not rational or they asking too much or they asking too little, whatever the case may be on that spectrum, I'm gonna gauge me and say, yeah, I want to explore it or no, I don't. But I'm not gonna call you delusional for what you want.
Well,
The
you would
spec
only be delusional if you tried to explore something that you knew you couldn't have. If you know
Correct.
that, yeah. So
Absolutely.
then you're right. You're 100% right. You're not delusional if you don't go after it. But if you are two and you sit up here saying I ain't gonna take nothing but a 9. The only way I'm gonna move is if I get a 9. He got to come to me. I'm 5'2", weigh 225 pounds, wear a size 18 dress at a 5'2". All right, but
Yeah,
I want him to be 6'1", 215 pounds, ripped, muscular, have $100,000 a year job, and I'm not selling for anything less. I think that's the point, or when it
agreed.
becomes delusion. That's all we're saying.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
This
And
Well,
then
I
statement
still
to
that
touch on
disagree.
what
I
Corey
think
said, just
being delusional, she took it too far. I still disagree because you can have great confidence and it's mind over matter with everything. You can still get what you want, even at a 2 and 5'2", 200 pounds.
but have you
Go
guys
ahead,
Can,
thought
Mark.
can,
about
can I,
that
this
on
can
a
I,
hold
I'm
basic
on.
so-
This
level
statement
though?
that Erica made, in my
I
opinion,
like
kind of
that.
maybe sums up the delusional part, maybe. some ladies
I
are
agree.
delusional, but I think it's because women are going by what's popular in the media.
Absolutely.
Women currently have to carry on roles that should be for men. Women do have a sense of entitlement, but that is because we have had to carry the load, so we haven't been able to operate in our feminine. The sexes are off
That's
balance
true.
right now. Hopefully, men and women can come together, can come to a happy medium. I like
I
that.
I
Yeah,
love that. That's a great comment, Eric. That's now
yeah,
Mark.
I
Were
like
you gonna
that.
say something, Mark? Go ahead, Mark.
I'm a refrain. I mean, I like
Okay.
that last comment. I like
Yeah,
that
she
last
that
comment.
really yeah. She dropped. You could drop the
Yeah,
mic on that one.
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
ain't
I
got nothing.
think we can. I think that can sum up that, and we might can move on from the delusional statement.
Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, but my
They
thing
didn't. The
is,
women didn't answer it though.
I really want
I'm
to
just gonna
know
say
on
it
a
like
They
this.
cultural level
answered it.
if y'all considered that
Can
question
I
though.
can I just give y'all a truth pill?
Hold on, we're gonna hear
Okay,
you. I hear you, Brittany.
honestly,
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
come on with it, Mark.
like
Pill.
women say, oh, um, the woman 5'2", she can overcome with confidence. Listen, I see a lot of confident women wearing some stuff they should not be wearing. All right, just
Yes,
because you're
I
confident,
just saw it.
that's just not. That's just not. I don't see your confidence. I see like, man, she don't got no friends. She
Yeah.
don't got no friends telling her you shouldn't wear that.
We say that too,
Okay,
Mark. We say that too.
exactly. But
As
I
women,
think men are
we
more
tell them just
realistic.
be a friend.
But men, we're
I
more
don't say
realistic,
nothing. Let that woman do what she want to do.
and that's the
That's
problem.
disgusting.
Then when I look at you and you don't, what you think I got a problem? No, you have like that is not made for you. Okay, that doesn't. It's like I wore a 14 shoe, right? And some shoes they look real good at size 9, but then when I put it in a 14, it just don't look right.
It
You know
don't
what I'm
look right.
saying? Like
Mark,
I
run
mean,
that back.
I
What did you
agree,
say you
Mark.
wear?
I
Size what?
do.
there you go.
Mark, run that
Now
back. What
y'all
size you
know.
say you wear?
Listen, Coy. Now you know we done been to the store and we done seen some shoes that look real good for a size 5. But if we get up to, I mean, I'm an 8.5. I don't know who else, but sometimes that 8.5, it still look like a boat. I don't want it.
Exactly.
I think Coy might have been making another point though. I'm trying to.
I know.
Y'all hear me when I
Why
when I
can't
start
we?
hooping over here? Y'all know that
I already did.
I'm summoning the Holy Ghost right quick to come and level out our conversation.
I think we need it. I think based off that, we need to start living our truth.
We do.
Okay,
We do.
let's use that as example.
Excuse me.
If I'm overweight, I'm out of shape, but I make money and I want to attract a woman, then guess what? I realize it's not going to be a natural attraction. I realize I'm gonna have to finance that relationship. I'm gonna have to pay for it. As a woman, if you think you want to be the baddest woman, but you look in the mirror, you are not the baddest. No matter what you draw on your face, if you're not the baddest and you make money, you're gonna have to sacrifice for the type of man that you want. You're gonna have to pay for that man.
Oh Jesus.
He doesn't have to bring nothing to
Oh
the table.
Lord, Mark, now come on
It's
now.
the truth. What you like? This go to
They're doing it. They are doing it
primitive
though.
nature. Primitive to nature is attraction first. A man doesn't walk by and see your good ways and morals and stuff. He's attracted
I
to
ain't
you
never seen it.
first.
I ain't never seen it.
So what I'm saying is this is true. Like we gotta start talking from the truth. I mean, I don't. This is the thing is we don't
What
want to
happened
talk
to the
about that.
law of attraction, though, Mark?
Well,
Do you believe
women,
in that?
y'all see handsome guys, but y'all want a man 6. Girl, he at least got to be 6'2". Girl, he at least got. So you
I'm
you
left
got
out.
5'3". Girls
I just
5'3"
want to
looking for men
comfortably wear
6'2".
my heels. That's it.
What?
Oh
That's
Lord,
I just don't want. I just don't
So
want to
your
see all that
ability
in
to
Walmart.
I
so
don't
your
care if I look
ability
at the top of your head as long as you treat me well.
see your
Right. I
ability to
don't
Yeah,
walk
you
on
even
special,
the
stilts.
height
Coy.
requirement isn't even
What you say,
But
Mark?
I'm
not
saying
important.
I would say your ability to walk on stilts shouldn't be what you want in a man. I mean, you're
I'm just
5'3",
joking.
but I know, but these women are too serious like that.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
Look,
saying
look,
it's a lot of.
I agree.
But now,
hold on. Mark, you said something earlier, and Patrick Mason, he's back on again tonight, and I told y'all he used to be dean of economics for Florida State and I think FAMU, but he's saying that, and let me put his comment up. He said, because we were talking about the income related thing, we said we'd marry a fry girl at McDonald's if we had to, but this is what he said. I
Right.
have found in my classes that men and women have similar standards with relation to earning. The young women in my courses make it clear that their spouse has to earn more than them. The young men feel the same way, i.e., they have to earn more than the women that they marry. So both see male marriageability as income related. And then he asks, is this standard sensible? Now I'm going to ask you a question, Deacon. You can answer in the comments. Is this at Florida State or is this at FAMU? Is this at Florida State or is this at FAMU? And then once you respond to that, then I'll respond some more to that. Mark, you because I want to stay on this vein because I don't, and like I said, I didn't want to point the finger. I think we're communicating. I think we're having a good communication right now. Ashley, you're doing a great job too, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. But so the thing is Ashley asked this question. Most of y'all women didn't answer this, but I really wanted it. FSU. Okay, so that's a little different demographic. But I'm talking about in our community, in our culture. I wonder if that answer would have been the same if you had at FAMU. And I'm sure, and it could have been, might not have been. I don't know. Who was that sign going to say something? Was that you, Mark?
Yeah, my thing is, and Patrick, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we keep making comparisons to white America, who are socioeconomically in a different stage financially than we are. Instead of recognizing the stage that we're in and creating pathways for legacy and success and speaking to that, we're not having those conversations. We're mimicking white America where they're at with their vantage points, and we're putting that on each other instead of us. Because the thing is, you look in other minority communities, whether it's the Asian, Hispanic, Indian with the red dot. You look at those different nationalities and see how they work. They're not having these conversations. Now that could be our separation from our culture. That's but when going back into the Africa and stuff like this and picking up on white America and mimicking that, but socioeconomically, we should not be repeating what they're saying because we're not in those stages yet.
Absolutely.
We need to get into work, do a reality check, and come back and calibrate to where we are and speak from those aspects.
Much of what we experience as a culture, even in our dating and our lack of being able to date, is a result of culture clashes. I mean, they're culture clashes because we're trying to, like you said, mimic a society, number one, that they never want us to be a part of their society. And we're steadily trying to mimic it and trying to be, and here it is. We are so busy confusing the symptoms of success with the substance of success.
Say that again.
Let me drop it one more. Okay. We're so busy trying to mimic the symptoms of success because if I don't have a certain car, if I don't have a certain credit score, if I don't live in a certain house or live in a certain neighborhood, and most of y'all ain't come from that no way. Most of us came from the other side of the tracks, right? That's why we know how to put hog maws and chitlins to stretch them a little bit more. We know how to put cornstarch in something to stretch it, to make it in cheese dip, to make it stretch it, right? Because we've been stretching our whole life, but now we get a little education. And now we start living and we're able to move across the tracks and live in another neighborhood. And now all of a sudden we too good for each other. Listen, those attitudes, those behavior patterns were as a result of subliminal suggestion from outside communities. Coy hit it earlier. The welfare system decimated our communities because you had to choose. You had to choose.
And
do you want to keep, huh?
No, you're right. The welfare and the crack epidemic.
Crack epidemic, crack epidemic filled up our prisons.
That's still all government. That's still all government.
It's still all government.
And we were guinea pigs. We were Manchurian candidates. I mean, you want to get mad? Read the book. I don't know if you've read it because you're in the medical field, Brittany. Have you read the book by what's Harriet Medical Apartheid?
No, I've never heard of that book.
Look up the book Medical Apartheid. And look at how medicine, how they use medicine to experiment. It was much more than just the Tuskegee.
I've heard articles and I've heard of that aspect, but I've not specifically read that book.
Yeah, read that book. I can't think of the last. I'll look it up in a minute. But it's much more than the Tuskegee Institute. I mean, they would talk about how the doctors would keep the slaves up doing experiments. One particular lady, they had her put her in a 120-degree box. And would put her in there to see how much temperature she could withstand. Let her pass out, wake her back up, and start the whole process again, and then send her out back in the field to work the next day. Right? So they never cared about us fitting in our system, but we trying to make our hair straight. We trying to make blue eyes. We trying to do all these things, and they're trying to do the same things that we're trying. They trying to look like us. Okay, we're not supposed to be talking about this right now.
Yeah, that process.
So
I know where you go with that. That's so
James,
confusing. I'm like, hold on, we paying to get surgery to look like how we already. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jane, you know what I could say? Listen to all that.
Delusional. My
It,
bad. I should say that.
I think all of us. I think in Black America, we're all functioning in a delusion right now. And to answer one question, the way we can save this is men. We got to start getting away from being real N words and being real men again.
Absolutely.
And women have to stop embracing this bad bees and become some bad
Mhm.
women again. And women, we got to take a hold of our community. When we start taking hold of our community, when we could save these men and women, then we could better teach them how to have better relationships. And a lot of that's going to start with us, ourselves. And we got to listen to those conversations, like I think Mr. Adams said earlier. You know, that hard truth and taking that self criticism, and we're going to have to learn how to take that, because when we look in that mirror, if we are single today, it's for a reason. And why? Why?
Mhm.
And one of the worst comments, and I'm gonna tell you like this: one of the worst comments I can hear is a woman say, "Oh, I'm a lot to handle." Well, why?
You shouldn't have to be handled.
Yeah, why you gotta? What? I don't want that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But
This is a good kind. This
But
is
one of the things, Mark, that you said as far as all of everything that men and women should be doing separate, but we also, and at the end of us coming together, we all have to kind of be receptive of some of the information that comes from those conversations individually, because a lot of times, as we go back to the beginning, we're so offended by the things that are being said. It's not a personal attack. It's something that's going to all help us in the long run. We all say we want good men. We all say we want good women. But when someone takes the time to pour into you to try and help you in that aspect of your life, you dismiss or are dismissive of what's being said. It's attack on you personally. So we all need to be open to constructive criticism. I think is what Reggie said earlier in the comments above.
two things, Ash.
Yes,
I
sir.
just recently had to get strong enough to take self criticism from people I love.
Okay.
I just had to get strong enough to do that. That's self reflection, right?
Mhm.
And that right there is something that I think all of us is hard to deal with. I tell people like this: let's look at this, especially the professional people. If we treated our relationships like we do our jobs, if we didn't cut each other off and we let people speak, especially in a managerial position, you let people speak, you let them finish their sentences, you have an empathetic approach, you're able to regurgitate what they said, let you know you heard them clearly, and then even though you may not agree with their point of view, you let them know you understand, but this is where we're going. If we treated our spouse like we're paid to act at work, what would we do? That's my thing.
That's good.
Yeah.
So
that
are
that
you saying, Mark, are you saying we need to take the emotions out of a relationship and put more
I think
logic into it?
I think if we use the training we learn at work when it comes to conflict resolution and communication and apply it into our relationships, we could be better. And
that's
not
good, man.
that's what I
Mhm.
feel like.
That's good. You know what? I want to say something about that because, and it goes back to what you just said. You know, like you got. I don't know where this. You know, when I got married, two things, and I'm divorced now. Everybody knows that. But when I got married, two things my ex-wife said were deal breakers. Number one, she said I couldn't cheat on her, and number two, she said I couldn't call her a B. Those were two things she said I couldn't do. Don't call me a B, and don't cheat on me. And it leaves me disheartened to see so many women call themselves B's and call each other B's and all these things. Now watch this. If you think that much about yourself, how much you gonna think about me? If you're subliminally disrespecting yourself, you know, because you might not view it as disrespect, but real talk, if you calling yourself a female dog, you've reduced yourself to that, and you're calling we bad bees, we bad bees, we bad bees. Da, da, da. If you think that bad about yourself, that's why you see women talking to men any kind of way. You know, that's why you see us talking down to each other, and there's such a lack of respect. Because if we don't respect ourselves, how in the world will we turn around and respect anybody else? Brittany, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that I agree with what you just said. One thing about that I wanted to touch on, which inadvertently in the conversation, you and Mark kind of answered it, because from my initial reaction from the video, and just an observation in my profession, you know, just day to day, I realized that other cultures really aren't having the conversation of what you bring to the table, what color is your table, how tall are you, what are we using to eat. So that really struck curiosity in me as to why is it so heavily discussed within our culture? What factor does it play? Because other cultures simply aren't even, it's not a discussion. A man is providing for his home, his wife and his children. There's no questions asked. There's no rebuttal. She's not having to explain why she deserves it. Mark kind of touched on it, and it gives me a different perspective. Culturally, yes, we are in a different space. But at the same time, so recognizing that culturally we are starting off in a different space. I understand that. But it's like what Mark said again, considering lineage, like I'm sacrificing now so my great grandkids can have or build, and we build something with somebody, with me and my partner. I don't want to have a discussion as to what I bring to the table, what you bring to the table, how tall you are doesn't matter. Like disrespect. I mean, I just think that there's so many layers and factors that go into what I feel like is a substantial partnership that I'm simply not even gonna be worried about some of those things. What color the table, your expectations of the table, what size it is, like what I'm not basing decisions on how much you make. Respect is automatic. I mean, we're not even gonna, it's a non-issue when you think about the type of things that you really want. And for me, like Mark said, it's lineage. It's like I'm building a partnership to lay certain things out for that in that realm. So some of those things just aren't even a factor. It's not worth debating about or arguing about.
I think society has.
I agree.
Sorry. I think society has brought
Made that our conversation. Is that what you're saying?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
What I'm saying, I think we have brought that up in our culture, and maybe all through different. I don't want to say history, maybe, but the world has brought Black people, men and women, black men and Black women against each other. So now we're kind of in a competition with each other, in my opinion. And so that's why it's always, well, what you got? Well, what you got? Well, I got this. Well, I got this. Well, if you don't have this and I got this, then I don't want you until you get that. So that's kind of, it's like we going in a circle. And go ahead, Coy.
Go ahead, Ashley.
You fine. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think it's something that Americans or this just started here in America. You go over to certain parts of Africa. Black people have always been flashy people. They're all about flash and material things and who has this much, and you know it's Africa is a rich continent. So I don't think we can blame that on America, because that's just a part of who we are. We are flashy people. We like to have things. We like to have money. We like to have more and more of everything. I think we have an issue in our homes because let me just say in other homes. Okay, somebody mentioned, well, we know that the man is the provider, this, that, and another. I don't think in the other homes, provider is restricted to financial provider. I've always known in the white homes, the wife has always worked and brought in an income, and it worked like that. They grow together, they develop together.
I haven't experienced that.
Provider, he's a male. He provides my emotional support, my security. He provides the muscle in the house. If we can get off that financial tip, then I think we will be okay in our homes. We can't keep counting each other's money.
I agree with that. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I said we got to ask for ladies and men again, and we got to start. And that's part of it. It's more than financial. If you ever looking back in the day, the spiritual leaders were the men. Now you got women in church and no men there. I mean, it's a lot of different things that goes there when you but it's about your ask. And yes, social media does have the platform to influence people. But if we're doing our jobs as parents in the homes
Hmm.
and enforcing culture the right way, uh, then social media wouldn't have the effect. The fact that we're too busy ourselves in our 50s and 40s conducting ourselves because we don't want the young people right now in the 40s and 50s. We didn't knew 20 and 30, and we don't want to pass the torch. But if we start recreating that foundation of solidity and legacy, then the narrative would change. We're not right now. We're not focused on the impact of what we're doing, especially in our 30s and 40s. I live here in Atlanta. We doing Sunday brunches and Sunday fun day. And black men, we're not in the communities like we used to. We're not being social pillars like we used to. So there's a lot of things that deal with that, and the dating aspect is one of the end results of this. But we have to go back and start sowing the seeds of truth in our culture, and our kids are going to benefit from that. We all need to start healing, having real conversations, understanding social economical advances, start talking about spiritual warfare, start talking about self accountability, self productive ways, and things that are more fruitful for our relationships. What I said within ourselves. But this whole thing of what we're talking about of other cultures, we know what's going on in Black America right now, and that's what we need to deal with.
Absolutely.
And that's just the forefront. And money is secondary to what's really going on. It's mentality.
Hmm.
So, and it,
That's good.
James,
That yes, sir.
look at the evolution of what we did. Um, it's getting worse and worse. We like you said, it used to be, you want to was that MC Light want a roughneck and then want no
Hmm.
scrub. Now you want a real. It's getting so bad, but you're seeing the fruits and the products that's coming out now. Men are beating on women at a high rate, killing themselves, everything else. Man, we are messed up, and it's the rhetoric we put out, and we got to be responsible for that.
People don't understand
Yeah.
how much culture has influenced the outcome of who we've become. You know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
mean, I mean that it's amazing how culture. I mean, just let me just get into that. The ramifications of just the prison industrial system. I mean, let's go deep into that whole situation. When you remember Mark, y'all were a little bit younger, y'all 86, I think that was somewhere around there, right? But you remember when they talked about the super predator. Do you remember what he looked like? Huh? When they put out when they talked about the crime bill, and the crime bill was all about filling up these warehouses, right? All these prisons, right? And they said we're gonna fill this up. And now with this whole prison industrial system, any privatized prisons, that's a entity that is a for-profit business. Any
Right.
for-profit business has a target audience. So what they did by making a target audience was they said that there's this thing called a super predator. They were even talking about crack. What was the term? Crack whores. They were talking about welfare queens. They were using all of these terminologies, and every poster child for all of those terminologies were black people. But the
Hmm.
super predator was the black man. So you begin to devalue him. You devalue him. You emasculate him. You take his worth away. Now all of a sudden, when granddad is gone, when brother is gone, when daddy is gone, when uncle is gone, and he's gone down the road for years, who's left? Women. And now women have to slide into those roles of being the providers and being the roles that they really weren't created to do, right? But somebody got to do it. But look at it, 20 years later, because now crackheads are grandmothers. So 20, 25 years later, this is the fallout of what we have. That's, you know what, they wouldn't have been having these kind of some of the stuff I see people put on, like when I talk about the rallying cry and all that kind of stuff, you know, some of the stuff that I see people, I wouldn't dare put that stuff on social media. I wouldn't dare. Yeah, Mark, we ain't even gonna get to the second part of this conversation tonight. That's the sad part about it, because we were supposed to do the handling the hard truths for the women and then get into the men part of it, because Nicholas wanted us to talk about emotional intelligence and emotional security, and we were gonna get into that as well. But I guess we're gonna have to make that something for next week. But Coy,
Yeah, but
So I
James,
have
let me say something though.
go ahead,
I'm gonna just go a little left on this. I don't think
please.
the hard truth is for the women though. Let me
Okay.
explain this. So we talked about grandmothers at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
How people looked at them as how they're looking now, like as weak. But our grandmothers, they were really strong. They took a lot. Grandfather brought the money home and did what he wanted to do. He did some of them even got beat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Had fights or whatever, and they stayed in the marriage. Men, who's walking away from the family? Can y'all men,
Statistics say
y'all can't take nothing now? Y'all can't
statistics say
take anything now?
but
What'd you say?
statistics say black women are walking away from the marriage.
That's what's happening. That's what I want to know. Who's walking away
Yes.
from the marriage now?
Statistics say that black women are leaving marriages at a rate higher than they are getting married. It's black women that are leaving the marriages, according to
So we're the
statistics.
ones that's filing the divorce, is what
Yes,
they're saying.
that's what statistics are saying. Yes.
So men would stay in the marriage because y'all are complaining about being respected. So is it men that can't take anything now? I mean, what's going on?
So this is the
Our
thing. Let me help.
grandmothers took everything. They were pretty strong.
I'm gonna help you out, Rick. Let's go to modern terms. So what you see with the high rate of women that are getting divorces because the women most of the time intermarriages because of conditions. You look at society now, most men we're taught to love unconditionally. The only thing that's not love unconditionally is a man, because we have conditions for you to love us. Most most
Mm,
most men, uh, we look at a woman who's broken, because remember, women, you have access to success without having to be successful. You're pretty, you X, Y, Z. You can have success, i.e., Atlanta Housewives, but they can have that access to success without being successful. With men, you would not have that unless you are successful. But in the midst of your success, you're taught to take a woman who is not successful, invest into her dreams and make her successful and make her a better person and everything else. We are conditioned to deal with things and not look at Father's Day. We are used to not being celebrated and loved. So at the end of the day, but we want respect instead of real love. And now men hurt. Well, we got the highest suicide rate. When it deals with depression, we depressed deal with depression because we don't want to talk to. So at the end of the day, men, I think they get into these marriages, and women, like you said, with conditions. Now, if you're not meeting that condition, they will leave. And social media makes it feel like there's somebody else out there for you. Yeah. Oh, if I want somebody else to take it, and it's not necessarily true. But men, yeah, we talk to love unconditionally. So that's what you kind of see.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's 100% right. Statistically, y'all are leaving the relationships, and you know what, Corey, I discovered, and I can only speak from my personal experience. Like I said, I was married 20 years, and I ain't gonna lie, I was much better at marriage 15, 16 years in than I was at 1 or 2 years in. Right, I learned how to be married. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if y'all saw my live I put out there today. I put it in. Yeah, we're going to have to make this part two. We're going to hit that other portion next week. But I was talking to a couple that had on my live earlier. I said, I need more people like you on the show, but I don't need y'all to advertise only your successes. I need you to advertise your failures. Because if you advertise your failures, it'll let people know that you can fail. And there's a popular book out that you can read called Failing Forward, right? Because once you do fail, you learn how to talk to one another. You learn how to communicate with one another. And you use it some. And I think I used a term earlier today, Ashley. I called it every relationship, Mark, ought to have a peace point. No matter where we are in the conversation, I don't care how mad we are, there needs to be a safe word. There needs to be something that's a peace point where we can stop this right now, go make up, and then come back and revisit this conversation a little bit later on. Because if we don't, somebody's gonna say something, and then you ain't gonna be able to take it back. And if it keeps going like that, like I said, I can pride myself in marriage. For 20 years, we probably argued 2 or 3 times. We never did a whole lot.
We
I
want to
ain't
be
finna
like
argue with
dropping
nobody.
draws or something, and we go back and do that, and then come back.
Yes, that sounds like a good thing. You know what? Hey, listen, take it out, and I was playing. But whatever your peace point is, maybe if she like rainbow sherbet ice cream, her run up the street and get some doggone rainbow sherbet from Baskin
Ain't
Robbins.
nobody thinking about that in a heated
Well,
argument.
you got to do, but something has to happen, because divorces are still happening, and whatever we didn't work. You feel what I'm saying? So if that didn't work, what could we have done? Now I've sat here on my little couch, where my couch is gone. I got a new couch now, but I sat here on this couch stuck for a long time, looking at the man in the mirror, and I saw everything that I did wrong. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm starting to get to the point of learning some things that she might have done wrong as well, because I know I took a lot of responsibility that I probably shouldn't have had to take, because I just thought because I had bigger shoulders, you can put it on mine. You know what I'm saying? So, but the point is, so are women delusional? I don't know. Some are.
No.
And no, hold on. Some are. Just like some men are delusional. Just like some women do this. It's everybody, because they all got different fingerprints. The women that she's talking about in that video that have, what she said, I'm going to write down the notes. Unrealistic, the way to say, fake everything, unrealistic expectations, entitlement. Some are mean. Some women are. April Mason says she don't want to be a relationship coach no more because people are delusional. All these, so there has to be some validity to the statement.
Hey,
Like I
James,
said, I think delusional is a strong term. I
Mm-hmm.
just think people have limited exposure. They don't know any better. They've been
That's a good point.
exposed to somebody before them, and that's how they think. So if they don't go outside of their comfort zone and be around other people, different cultures, and it's not their fault that they think that way, but it's their fault if they don't want to change their way of thinking and get more
There you go.
exposure.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's their fault if they want something different, but they don't seek outside to learn and gather new knowledge
Yeah.
to make that change to go forward for the
So,
goal.
but it's still
So I guess
delusional.
my thing is this. So are we saying that it's somebody else's fault for them having these? I know, of course, they're
Well,
not delusional, but these delusional thoughts, because my thing is this. I can look at something that somebody else has, and I don't have to take on wanting to covet what it is that they have. Like, how are we trying to blame someone else?
but you're talking about somebody that grew up. So you have 18 years of learned behavior from and you believe it because you're taught this. You trust your parent or whoever raised you. So you believe
But
it.
that's almost like
Yeah.
saying my dad was a deadbeat dad, so therefore, and I'm not saying my dad is a deadbeat dad, but my dad is a deadbeat dad. So when the man gets older, he gonna be a deadbeat dad because that's all he was taught. Like, at what point in time do we, as the individual, take responsibility for how we're acting? Because my mama could have taught me all kinds of great things,
Right.
and here I am out here with a whole totally different perspective on how
Absolutely.
life should be, and that's not what she taught me. So I
That's
think that
part
that's
of
kind
that.
of a
Yeah.
Did you
That's
have
part of that
any
delusion
different
is
kind of
not taking
exposure?
self accountability. But
I
that's
didn't.
part of, I think that plays into the delusion when you don't take self accountability.
Absolutely.
Like if you're single at such and such age, at some point you should explore and why. Why is all my aunties single? Why is the majority of the women in my community single? So if you haven't came to that realization, then maybe you don't need to be in the pool or whatever the case may be. But I think it's nobody else's fault or responsibility. Personally, I don't. I personally didn't grow up in a household with the example, but I noticed that it was a trend. All of my aunties are single. A lot of the women in my community are single. Why? So then I sought out information, and that's like continual learning and knowledge. That's my self accountability, and I think every woman and man, yeah, it's our own individual accountability if you want
That's
something
good.
different moving forward.
I agree.
I don't have
Miss Brown.
anything, Pastor James.
Oh no, we're good. We're gonna cut this conversation tonight. We're gonna have to revisit this second part of this conversation. I'm gonna put it on the screen and show you what we're gonna talk about and give you something to think about. If y'all don't mind, real fast, and then
While
we'll get
you're
it.
looking for that, Corey says the elders used to throw little get-togethers, cook and play all little music. The men folk would take the young men in the corner and talk to him, and Big Mama Nim would take the young women to the corner and talk to her with hopes of keeping them together whenever they were on the verge of breaking up. This is related to marriages and the divorce portions of it.
Right.
All right. So what I want to do is I want to show y'all this and give you something to ponder for next week. And this is really a good conversation. It says, "Have you ever wondered how a man could fall for a woman who doesn't seem like his type? Here is the harsh reality: when a man feels like he is being heard, he feels like he is being respected. When a man feels like he is being respected, he feels loved. In most cases, that woman has captured his attention because she gave his soul the ear and affection that he longed for. After a while, aesthetics and even at times decorum take a back seat to respect and love." Wow. After a while, aesthetics and even at times decorum take a back seat to respect and love. And we talked about this in the group earlier today. And most of the men said, above love, they want to be respected. And that's something that this world has totally tried to do to us as black men, is devalue us, as I said earlier, and not give us the respect that we should be somewhat entitled to an extent. But definitely, because I say this all the time, Coy, just because a person hadn't earned your respect does not mean they've earned your disrespect. Right. So we can just live peaceably among all men and just get along. I mean, Mark and I, we met at the barbershop. We didn't know each other's names, right? But we were cordial the first time we met. I didn't get his name until after I got his phone number, right, Mark? I ain't have to know your name because as a black man, I just respected you. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have, because you haven't given me anything to disrespect you. So when we start talking about relationships, that's another conversation I want to really jump into. And I'm gonna bring Nicholas in next week. And Nicholas and Mark and I, if Mark's available, and we'll continue to talk about this whole emotional intelligence and emotional security and learning how to not only protect our emotions, but learning how to display our emotions. Because the biggest takeaway I took away from out of that group today is that most of us matured to a place where the looks didn't matter as much anymore. It didn't matter as much about this and that. I ain't gonna lie, at 23, 24, we were looking for a dime. You know what I'm saying? We trying to look for somebody who was arm candy, all that kind of stuff. But at 49 now, that's starting to change a little bit because I need somebody that's gonna ride, that's gonna ride. I need a partner. I need a Clyde. I need a Bonnie. I'm sorry. I need a Bonnie. Lord, I do not need no Clyde. Let that be understood. Well, anybody come in my inbox with some bull, I'm gonna let you know right now. She better be Clydella, Clydestine or something like that. I'll take a Clydestine,
Clarine.
Clyde, but no Cleophases and no Clyde. No, I'm gonna be Clyde, and we need but I'm looking for a Bonnie, somebody that's gonna ride, and that's the thing. So we're gonna explore that conversation deeply. Y'all know what Brittany, I like you. You all right with me? You all right with me? So we'll be in contact with you, Coy. We're gonna keep. Coy, we're going to keep on riding as long as you ride with me. As long as you ride with me. Because Coy, permission to think differently when it comes to Coy London. Permission to think differently. And Ashley, y'all give Ashley a hand. Didn't she do a good job? Yeah, I told her to carry the conversation. And she did it despite the fact that she had to go to the doctor today and all that. So she really wasn't feeling too well. But she pushed on.
My business.
Yeah, she pushed. Hey, I didn't tell him what you went for now because I don't know. So, but I said I wouldn't tell her. I wouldn't tell her.
I appreciate the opportunity, though. Honestly, when he did tell me, I was half asleep when he was talking about this. And so when I called him back, that's when he said, well, we kind of need the females to lead. And I'm like, wait a minute now, we ain't talk about that. So I appreciate you all helping, ladies, for sure, helping me carry the conversations on. Mark, also for your help, and Mr. Stu, the intellectual man himself. I appreciate the opportunity.
Intellectual Stu. Something like that. Mark, but tell them no. We're gonna get in, man. We're gonna get in the brothers' butts next weekend. Well, not in their butt. We're gonna get in they, we're gonna get in they, yeah. We're gonna
Hey man,
yeah.
you know I'm gonna charge them up to the game. We gotta evolve.
Yeah. We're
Diamonds
gonna,
made under pressure.
yeah, we're gonna Lazaric, Nicholas, Corey, all of y'all be available next week. We're gonna be tapping in. We're gonna do something different next week. We're gonna be tapping in. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, Mr. Adams, we definitely want to invite you back. I definitely want to hear that different approach. You know, he has that rigid approach, and Corey definitely want to touch on some of the things you said. I know we didn't kind of put it out there, but want to definitely give you that platform. If I want to say anything today, hey, let's break up with our past so we can have a future.
All right. Hey, Mark don't know it yet, but he's gonna take a bigger role in next week's show. So he and I, we're gonna, yeah, I'm sorry, Mark, but we're gonna hold these brothers seriously. So get these brothers on next week, and we're gonna talk about, you know what? We damage a lot of women trying to find who we are. We damage a lot of women, so we're gonna work on this whole maturity aspect and growing up. And if you just ain't ready for a relationship, just don't get in one. I mean, let people know where you're at and just move on. I mean, it's okay. Just put it out there. Let them know where you are. But let's quit damn and live. And women, if we tell you something, listen, we meant it. Don't try to change my answer. I know too many people, I tell you something, you be like, well, nah, what you meant to say. No, I'm of age. I can speak. I got 2 master's degrees. I'm good on that end. I promise you, I can communicate. I can put the sentence together.
You said what you said.
I said what I said. So it's been real. I've enjoyed. Brittany, say goodbye, Brittany.
Bye.
Say good night,
Thanks
Corey.
for having me.
Say good night, Corey.
Good night, y'all.
Say good night, Ashley.
Bye.
Hey, so like I always say when I get out of here, the world is changing. My question for you is this, though. Why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all next week.
Good night.